Sodozu, Wesini, Amri, Wahyu, Data Melisa, Yakobo, Koli.
When you say federal state or federal system or unitary system, actually it depends on how we organize it in our constitution.
I hereby reopen the session. Mr. Doctoral Candidate, this committee, installed by the Board of Conferral of Doctoral Degrees, has considered your dissertation and has heard your defense. The committee has decided to confer on you the title of Doctor. I now kindly ask the Supervisor, Professor Neerman, to invest you with the honors in the traditional fashion.
By virtue of the authority conferred on us by law and according to the decision of the Board for the Conferral of Doctoral Degrees, present at this session, I hereby confer upon you, Mohammed Novrizal, the doctoral degree to which are attached all rights and obligations towards science and society as laid down by law and custom. Do you promise always to perform your duties according to the principles of academic integrity, honestly and scrupulously, critically and transparently, and independently and impartially?
Yes, I promise.
Then I present you with the diploma signed by the Rector and supervisors and bearing the Great Seal of Utrecht University.
And I would like to invite Professor Kummeling to address the candidates.
Very learned Sir, Dr. Novrizal, dear Izal. Also on behalf of my fellow supervisor, Professor Remco Nemelman, I would like to congratulate you on your newly acquired dignity. This ceremony marks the end of a long process with many obstacles, which at times seemed so high that doubts arose whether, the finish line would be reached. Our first contact related to the dissertation dates from the 27th of April 2010. A month before that, we had met at the UI campus in Dipok singing Beatles songs together. It was in the music rehearsal room of the Dean, who had organized themselves a band called the Professors. Famous, even on national TV he was with his band. What a way to meet. The same multi-talented Dean, the late Professor Safri, supported your initiative to write a PhD, also financially. Utrecht University has already very good contacts for decades now with universities in Indonesia. This applies to many disciplines, but also and certainly to the field of law. Joint education is provided and research is supervised, including that of PhD candidates, all laid down in long-term cooperation agreements. And this dissertation is also based on such an agreement. With the help of at that time, inevitable Michiel van der Kastelen, admission to the doctoral program of law was secured in 2010. And in the same period, Remco Nemelman was also recruited as the second supervisor. The research journey started then, but we didn't know how long it would take. Ideally, this type of research should be completed in some 4 years. But of course, it only applies for PhD students who are employed at the university as such. For other PhDs, it often takes longer. It ended up taking 13 years. Normally, it would have been shut down much earlier. But the reason that it didn't happen, that was, a good foundation was already quickly laid. All kinds of talks were energetically organized with parliamentarians in Brussels and in Jakarta. Soon all kinds of pieces were written. Long-term stays in Netherlands and especially in Utrecht helped, also because you were able to build up very good contacts with fellow PhD students and also with your brothers, as you call them in your thesis. But after that, the process became more difficult. It became running and then standing still for a long time. And it became very difficult and more difficult when due to the very unexpected death of Dean Safri in 2011. After which it became also quite a challenge also in a financial way for finishing this research. And there was, of course, due to the financial issues, also a lot of things and hassle about visas. And there were also other disruptive events, like the loss of loved ones, such as your mother, mother-in-law, father-in-law, and grandparents. But also long-term illnesses, problems, like for yourself and your family members, like COVID and dengue, which not only brought concerns about health and life, but also necessitated extra efforts to keep loved ones and yourself financially and economically afloat. And of course there were, let's say, the usual delays that lawyers are well aware of, namely those caused by changes in legislation and in treaties. A lot of what's happening in that area, and especially in Indonesia. And there was also one hilarious delay. At least in my view, it was a hilarious delay, and thankfully it was only very brief. I remember well that we once spent a full day working at UI on the structure of the book and the issues that arise within it. We had worked all day together, standing in front of a gigantic whiteboard. And I remember asking you at the end of the day, shouldn't we take a picture of the whiteboard so you can work from there? No, said Isal, with full conviction, the cleaner knows that he is not allowed to erase the board. The next morning, on the way to the airport, I got Isal on the phone with the message, something terrible has happened. All our work from yesterday has been erased. Can we try to get it back at the airport before you leave? That's what we did to the best as we could. And now you know for sure why I take always pictures from brilliant work on whiteboards. Fortunately, it was only a short-lived setback. And all these other things mentioned earlier pose many more problems for the progress of the dissertations. Sometimes all hope seemed lost. And Remco and I were on the verge of ending the project, after which there was another message from you saying that, the thinking and writing has been picked up again, and there were also interesting pieces that was written and were sent to us. Eventually, the end was in sight, and we could work towards the completion of the manuscript, especially under the guidance of Remco, who had taken over the role of first supervisor. As the foregoing has already demonstrated, this has been a process that shows admirable perseverance on your side. First and foremost from your side, but also a bit from the supervisors. For Remco and me, it was and remained a fascinating project for many reasons. First and foremost, of course, for the research question. It is one of the most complicated issues of any organizational context. How do you accommodate diversity? This is certainly true at the state level. What differences in the use of freedoms and rights could you offer? Should you offer? Can you offer? Can you offer space without groups coming into conflict with each other, with risks of violence or even disintegration of the state or the institution? This is an issue that affects all of us all over the world, and also in Europe and Indonesia. And then it is good to see how people deal with this problem elsewhere, not with the illusion that legal transplants could be a solution, but to get productive ideas. And that makes this dissertation worthwhile. For Remco and me, this was also a very interesting aspect in the guidance. And also from the aspect that the question was, how is the European Union viewed from the perspective of an Indonesian lawyer? There are intercultural differences in viewing, and it has taken time and effort to understand each other, but we found that they're very instructive and very valuable. The research that has been defended today is a very interesting, welcome contribution to scholarship. It will undoubtedly lead to discussions in Indonesia, but it also holds up an interesting mirror directly and indirectly to the European Union, especially in the terms of the complexity of legislation and legislative procedures. The oral defense of the investigation was certainly sufficient. At the beginning you seemed a bit, let's say, now very nervous indeed. And when it comes to the end, well, you became more and more confident. The answers also were very quite confident, and also at the end more confident than at the beginning. Some of the answers were very convincing. Some of the answers were not that convincing, but in the end it was a very acceptable defense of this PhD. The Rector Magnificus of this university, whom I generally respect in his views, does not allow us to thank all the members of the promotion committee in detail, but I would like to thank Professor Fitra Azil, that we indeed very much appreciated the fact that he participated digitally in the opposition at such a late hour for him. The conclusion is that it can only be that with the completion and defense of your dissertation today, you have delivered a very admirable presentation. You have overcome many obstacles, and next to that you have also manifested yourself firmly in education, in publications, lectures and appearances in the media. That deserves many compliments and congratulations. And also on behalf of my colleague Remco Nemelman, I would like to thank you, I would like to include your family and friends in these congratulations, and particularly, of course, your wife and your daughter. Very learned sir, young Dr. Novrizal, dear Izal, enjoy your newly acquired dignity. Ik heb gezegd. I have said. Thank you.
Very learned sir, also on behalf of the Committee of Doctoral Degrees, I would like to congratulate you on the honors which have been bestowed to you. And now I would like to give the opportunity to Professor Azil to congratulate you as well, because he is not able to be here, but fortunately we have this connection.
Thank you. Dr. Muhammad Nafrizal, or Muhammad Nafrizal PhD. Alhamdulillah. I would like to congratulate you on your achievement. I fully understand that your journey has been long and challenging, with many sacrifices made to reach this doctoral degree. On behalf of my colleague at the Faculty of Law, Universitas Indonesia, I am delighted with your accomplishment and the lengthy academic journey you have completed. Your success brings pride not only to yourself, but also the entire faculty. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude for the chance to be part of this esteemed panel today. It has been an honor to be invited to participate in this forum and contribute to the development of such an important scholarly work. I truly appreciate the opportunity to support Mr. Nafrizal in his academic journey. I apologize for not being able to attend in person in Utrecht, and I hope there will be another opportunity to participate in academic forum there. Finally, I would like to extend a special greeting to Professor Hein Kommeling. Professor Kommeling, it is always a pleasure to work with you, and I greatly value on the ongoing collaboration and mutual support we have shared over the years. Your expertise and partnership are invaluable, and I look forward to continuing our academic exchanges. I would like to warmly express my sincere appreciation for the presence of Professor Satya Arinanto, my esteemed colleague and senior professor at Faculty of Law, Universitas Indonesia, who is there in person at Utrecht University to support Mr. Nafrizal. And then once again, congratulations for your achievement, Mr. Nafrizal, and I hope this bring you fortune with dunya wal akhirah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind words and good night. And now I'd like to conclude the session.
I met Isal when I studied in Groningen and he did his LLM in Groningen. And it was very funny because I was following an extra lecture in European environmental law, and I came into this class with a lot of foreign students. And actually I met his friend first, Freddy, and I was planning on going to Indonesia, and I was going to start a Dutch course, of an Indonesian course in preparation. So then I sat next to Freddy, and Freddy said, "Oh, I'm having my first Dutch lesson this evening." And I said, "Oh, I'm having my first Indonesian lesson this evening." So and then during the break, Isal came to me and he said, "Okay, let's make a deal. I'll teach you Indonesian language and you teach me Dutch language." And well, actually, he never learned Dutch, but we became very good friends.
Untuk Nofrizal, selamat atas pencapaiannya menjadi doktor. Walaupun banyak tantangan, akhirnya hari ini lengkap sudah perjalanan Isal. Ingat dulu waktu tahun 2011, 2012, pokoknya 2 kali deh. Waktu masih kuliah di sini, gue datang, gue bilang segera ya selesai. Tapi akhirnya selamat.
Bapak, selamat ya. Akhirnya bisa menyelesaikan ini, perjalanan yang panjang, tidak mudah. Kita bisa laluin bersama, Bapak, aku, dan Syah. Sebenarnya sangat nggak bisa bayangin sih akhirnya momen ini terjadi juga gitu ya. Bukannya putus harapan, tapi lebih ke apakah Bapak masih punya semangat untuk nyelesain gitu ya. Dan akhirnya Bapak bisa buktikan, Bapak bisa selesaikan. I'm really proud of you, and I think especially Syah, she's really proud of you. Thank you ya Pak, dan once again congratulations.
I think everything that I want to say has already been said by my mother. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here today to support my dad. I'm glad he's finally finished.
I started when she was in elementary school, first year, first grade.
Congratulations.
Thank you.